Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Raul Tapia, 39 years young, a general foreman to a concrete company, leader to a crew of 20-plus guys, a proud father of 2 boys, husband to a beautiful wife, and an active member of the community. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, this guy has it all together. And however true that may be now, it was not always the case. You see, there was a time in my life where I had fallen through the cracks, where I had lost complete focus, determination, and self-esteem. I invite you in the next few minutes to take a mental journey with me through a dark and grim reality, which unfortunately is all too prevalent everywhere in our city. At a very young age, I was taught the importance of working hard. My parents were both political refugees from Chile. My father was an orphan who never had the opportunity to complete his education. He was chased out of his home with a gun, but had a strong sense of survival. My mother, she was bullied. When my parents married, they knew they wanted to raise a child in a better place. They sold whatever they had, and my mother, in an oversized jacket, hid her pregnancy and stuck me into Canada. My parents worked hard, doing what they called part-times, which meant 2 or 3 cleaning jobs at some of our local buildings. I would help care for my 2 younger siblings and assist my parents with mopping floors and removing garbages. And this was all after school. We worked till about 9, 10 at night, 6 to 7 times a week. I quickly learned that work put food on the table, not education. I figured school was pointless. Unable to meet assignment deadlines, I fell short on credits by grade 11. Knowing that it was impossible to graduate, the school suggested I drop out. To be honest, I was relieved. I was bullied through school and never found a crowd to really fit into. And it took a toll on my self-worth. I entered the workforce and had many entry-level jobs. It was through one of these jobs that I realized I had a passion for cooking. I got an opportunity to become a Red Seal chef abroad. With a job lined up, excited and determined, this was it. I started to make a plan. I set out that day to end my relationship with my partner at that time. But before I could speak, she told me she was pregnant. Uneducated, but wanting to do the right thing, I knew I had to be there for my son. I gave up on the dream of being a chef because I needed to make money. I stumbled upon construction, where I found that even without an education, I could be successful. So now, a young father, no high school education, and very unhappy, I fell into a dark world of drug consumption. Now in this world, everyone was my friend, and that made me feel like I belonged. The cost was my self-value, self-respect, endless regret, and guilt. I spiraled downhill very quickly, sometimes putting my life and others at risk because I was consuming at work. Drugs and alcohol started to take over my life. You can imagine the outcome. My partner packed her things, my son, and left me. For years, I tried to find redemption, gateway drug after gateway drug. There was another woman, there was another child. Our volatile relationship only fueled the dark inferno of my consumption. I was lost, tired, and defeated. Now an addict, I figured this is the furthest I'd reach. This is all I could ever be. Even after a stint in rehab, I was unable to let go of the monster I had become. I was popular. I had money for drugs, and I contemplated suicide. I had hit rock bottom. Rock bottom. I had to make a choice, and after a lot of reflection and near-death experiences, I was tired of being nothing and feeling like nothing. I wanted my 2 boys to be proud of me, but how? Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe in fate and destiny. Life gave me a chance with my high school sweetheart, a love I let go 13 years prior. She knew about my battle with my self-torture and self-abuse. And as we spoke and tried to rebuild this second chance at love, We suffered many relapses and aftershocks. She stuck through it. And after a lot of inquiry on her part, we both realized that education was the one thing that weighed heavy on me. You see, I realized that school meant so much more than academics. It teaches life skills inside and outside the classroom walls and builds that self-worth. But I felt I couldn't live up to that. I worried about my inability to learn. I dreaded not fitting in. She asked if I was interested in getting my GED. I was hesitant because programs cost money. And quite frankly, they take up a lot of our time. I'd have to quit work in order to go. How would I pay for rent? How would I pay for child support? My partner, ever determined, kept searching and found an answer for all my excuses. That answer was never too late. 6 hours a week in the evenings, and best of all, free. After days of self-doubt and lacking confidence, I hesitantly called the program social worker. It was how this stranger on the other end of the phone spoke to me that changed everything. The welcoming, comforting voice explained that the program was all about and without one bit of judgment. Unfortunately, she explained that they were currently full, but that she would follow up if anything changed. I went on with my daily tasks, and again, I left it in the hands of destiny. But every day I thought about what it would be like to get a second chance at get my GED. I got the call. I was in, and I was overcome with bittersweet joy as I knew it was what I needed, but feared failure and rejection all over again. We move forward now to the first day of class. Oh my God. I think I even left work early at the time to get dressed and pick up a notebook and pens. I called my fiance and I told her I was scared. She calmed me down. I told my parents and they were thrilled. I felt I had purpose again. And even after 18 years, I was a ball of nerves. With a belly full of butterflies, I entered Father Lacombe High School. I was introduced to the educators, the social worker, and fellow students. I was amazed by the amount of people, the many walks of life. Ages ranged from 20 to 60, and from every corner of the world. I no longer felt excluded, different, or judged. I belonged. And there was a little spark that started to burn within that made it easier to return. Now, I'm not sure if you know, there's a day we call Backpack Day. You walk into a classroom, and it's full of backpacks, all of them, full of everything. The GED textbooks, pencils, pens, rulers, paper, a calculator, everything. And as I chose my backpack, I was filled with emotion and I teared up. This was more than a backpack of supplies. It represented dreams, opportunity, beliefs, hope. How lucky was I to have found such a sincere, caring program? How lucky was I to find someone that filled these bags because they cared, because they wanted to help and give me a chance to finish something I didn't 18 years prior. And the team at Never Too Late, well, they're amazing. They made every Tuesday and Thursday a pleasure. They never judged me and always made me feel at home. My classmates were so committed to helping each other out, we became like a family. This support equipped me with everything I needed to get my GED. Never Too Late made the process of school better, easier, and attainable. The educators are so kind, caring, and patient. On my first math assessment, I actually got 11%. Ouch. And as my guts churned, and as I felt that self-doubt creep back in, the math teacher Jeb assured me he'd show me the way. And what a difference from my experience 18 years ago. Instead of being seen as a lost cause and encouraged to quit, he stuck by me and worked with me day in and day out. By mid-semester, 60%. On my final exam, I passed with 78. Thank you. That was in 4.5 months. Now, academics weren't my only challenge. In those 4.5 months, I lost my job. I lost an uncle who was very, very close to me. And to top it off, my truck was stolen the day before the exams. Now, All these would be good excuses to quit, correct? But the social worker was there to support me every step of the way. And to help with all that she did with so much compassion, she helped me. I was not going to quit, not this time. And I had found my purpose. You see, the program has all the ingredients that someone like me needs to find success, from beginning to end. I found out that humility exists, that in such a chaotic world, there is a school where there is no judgment and no shame. Never Too Late was there to not only teach me, but to prepare me. And you ask yourself, did it pay off? Absolutely. That spark I mentioned earlier is now a fire burning within to accomplish all I set my mind to. Thanks to the Never Too Late program, I achieved my GED and so much more. You see, the windshield is now a lot bigger than the rearview mirror. Yes, I can see the mistakes, the failures, but they get further and further as I drive forward into success, happiness, and peace. Never Too Late has put me in the driver's seat. I graduated the same year as my oldest and got my youngest from a 40% to a 99% on his last few math tests. That's right. You see, I'm seeing the ripple effects of the Never Too Late in my life. The intergenerational impact that education has on families. The time spent with my children used to be filled with such frustration and angry words because that's all I knew how to be. Now, the other day, I just moved into a new house, and we were putting a bed together, and my son helped me. We laughed, we talked, and we took our time. He said to me, "Dad, you're being so patient." That is the impact that Never Too Late has on my family, directly. Now, Never Too Late has taught me that while I make mistakes, I am not the mistake. I'd like to thank everyone at CFS, because without you, I'd probably be dead. I'd also like to thank every individual in this room. You are all here tonight in support of a program, a cause that has changed my life and the lives of many others forever. And for that, I cannot thank you enough. If I may, I ask for your continued support so that others like me may be given the same opportunity to rewrite their stories of shame and guilt into stories of hope and success. As Patricia mentioned, the dream is to have Never Too Late in every quadrant of every city in Canada. Your attendance here tonight, your generous donations, and your belief in people like me can help make that happen. Thank you, and God bless.